Welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge.
And I'm Ashley Sledge.
And let's talk horror.
So today we're going to do a kind of deep dive / ending explained on The Monkey. It is a new look on possessed horror using an object as a deeper meaning. It really explores the trauma of childhood and just family in general.
Right. So the cast in this is awesome. I mean, we start off seeing Adam Scott.
It was a great surprise. I don't think we knew exactly that Adam Scott was even going to be in this. And when we seen him, it was like, okay, let's get this started with Adam Scott. That was really awesome.
Wish we could have gotten more of him.
Yeah.
We're going to talk more about him towards the end. But it's never a bad thing when you see Adam Scott.
No, love him.
Love Adam Scott. He's so good. And in the movie, he starts it off really, really well. Obviously, we're doing an ending explained in a deep dive. There's going to be spoilers here, guys.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen it, we suggest you see it and come back. Or if you don't mind being spoiled, keep on watching.
And then you have Theo James. He killed it as the twins, Hal and Bill.
Also, fuck Bill.
Yeah, Bill isn't. He's not a very good brother at all.
Not a very good person.
Yeah, but I mean, you're supposed to at least be nice to your. Well, you can be mean to your siblings, but
not to this extent.
Don't allow other people to be mean to your siblings.
Right.
And yeah, not to this extent. Yeah.
Another person I wish we would have got more of in this movie is Elijah Wood.
Oh God, he's. It's just so funny. Like, you can't help but just to laugh because, like, he's over the top and, like, you can't really take him seriously.
And I love how Oz Perkins put himself in the movie.
Uncle Chip.
Oh, Uncle Chip.
He cracked me up a little bit.
Best sideburns this side of the Mississippi, baby.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about Uncle Chip's kill. It was something, but we'll get into the kills in a little bit. And then we have the young Hal and Bill, Christian. He did really great as...
Christian Convery.
Yeah, he did really good as being both of those twins, so...
And we talked about how... We were going to talk more about Adam Scott. He takes the monkey into this, like, pawn shop.
Yeah, trying to get rid of it, essentially.
And the owner's like, it's broken. The other arm's up. And Adam Scott's like, we don't want that other arm to fall.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what we want. And then it does. He's like, we're totally fucked if it falls or something like that. And then...
he's like, it falls and nothing happens right away.
I don't feel totally fucked here.
Like, it's nothing, nothing's wrong. And then, obviously, everything...
Boom. Gets shot with like a harpoon right through him and then sucked back. We're going to talk about a lot of the death. I don't think I could pick a favorite.
No, there's a lot of good kills, a lot of over-the-top gory kills.
The gore in this movie is fantastic.
It really is.
If you're going into this movie looking for a terrifying horror movie, you walked into the wrong place.
But if you're going into it to laugh, to get some gory kills and just really great performances, then I think you are in the right place. It's actually, I really enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. They literally call her Babysitter Annie. They don't call her Annie, they call her Babysitter Annie. And Bill, he loves her. Like, he's going to marry her someday.
I do want to say real quick, there's a lot of, obviously The Monkey is based off the Stephen King short story. There's a lot of other Stephen King references in this movie. Babysitter Annie's real name is Annie Wilkes. Mm-hmm. That's her full name, which, as we all know, Annie Wilkes is the main character in Misery.
Yeah.
So, and then there's another part in the movie where they say, don't trouble your pretty little head, dear. I'll get it. And it totally reminded me of this.
Don't trouble your pretty little head, dear. I'll get it.
So we did get another reference to the 1990 It by Stephen King. And I don't know if that was on purpose, but when they said it, that's exactly what I thought when I heard that line.
Yeah, so Babysitter Annie, she was completely, like, beheaded. She's, like, flirting with the cook.
They're like the hibachi
at
grill.
A hibachi grill, and she's like, you can tell they're, like, into each other.
Well, he makes a heart on the grill.
Yeah. And
Bill's all pissed off.
Bill's all mad because he's going to marry this girl someday.
As he's doing his little thing, he swipes and beheads her.
Yeah. You have... the mom, Lois, she has an aneurysm, and this is probably like where a lot of like the sadness comes from. Like, this is really an actual like you feel like the other ones are kind of like almost over the top, like made for laughs. Funny. But this one, it's like it's his mom, and he's like Bill, like, this is where you kind of see he's, you know,
A little bit of a human side to him.
yeah, and he's crying. He's like, "Mommy," and you just see this blood coming out of her eyes, and she had this aneurysm.
We should say that when you don't pick who dies when you play with the monkey. The monkey decides who's going to die.
You just know that if you're the one that turns the key,
you're safe.
That you're the one that's safe. But you can try to, you know,
wish it.
But the monkey chooses.
Well, because when that happened, Hal was trying to kill Bill. Because Bill not only is relentlessly bullying Hal at home, at school, like he gangs up with other people to fuck with Hal. So Hal's like, you know, please kill my brother, and ends up killing his mom. And like you said, this is where you kind of get like a real feeling. Like you see them at the funeral, and you know, the mom Lois, she just is kind of
she's very
brutally honest.
Yeah, brutally honest to the point where this is where like the trauma type issue comes from. It explores a lot of trauma of like parental trauma, and yeah, she's very brutally honest, but she's very bitter.
They think that their dad, whose name is Petey, who is Adam Scott at the beginning, left them.
Yeah, flew away
and left them. When that's not the case. He was trying to take the monkey curse away from them.
The monkey, it was in his belongings. Like he was a pilot, and he had all of these different things from different places that he had been to, and the monkey was one of them. And the boys, I think, trying to like get to know their dad
through his belongings.
Yeah, that's where they found the monkey, and
that's how it got into their hands.
Yeah, and there's always like someone talking over you. At first you think it's Hal that is being like the narrator, because, you know, he is talking about how he really always wanted to kind of kill his brother Bill. Like at one point he had this bowling ball and was like holding it over his head, but he never actually went through with it, and that will play.
That comes into play later. That was the coolest foreshadowing of this movie.
We talked about Uncle Chip. His kill.
I was pissed about his kill at first.
Really?
Because at first you don't see it.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're really going to do this off screen? Like, you just go to his funeral and they're like, yeah, they told us that when they got his body out, it was like dumping out spaghetti or something like that. And then it flashes back and you actually get to see his kill. He's trampled on a hunting trip.
By, like the stampede, and they unzip.
And it's just
It's
gore.
just like minced meat. Like, he's nothing. And it's just like...
But at first I was pissed. I was like, how are you going to gloss over that kill? Like, that would have been a cool kill. Oh, never mind. There it is. That was awesome.
The aftermath of it was so cool to see, and it was so disturbing and disgusting. So I like how they played that off. That was pretty good.
And then you have Aunt Ida's over-the-top kill.
Oh my God. It's like
her face.
It just keeps going and going.
Like, she gets set on fire. She runs up. First she falls down the stairs.
She falls, like the stairs break, and she falls, and she has all of these
fish hooks
in her face. Which has to really hurt. Yeah. And then she
tries to pull them out. And then she gets her face lit on fire.
Well, she puts alcohol or something on her face to like make her face flammable, and
Well, to get rid of the infection is why she does it.
Right.
And then her face gets set on fire. She runs outside to try to get out, and there's a sign, and she runs face first through the sign.
It just keeps going and
going. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse for her.
But it really works. I liked her kill.
It's over the top.
But she was like an over the top person at the same time.
This next kill that we're going to talk about is probably my least favorite. Not in thought, but in execution, because it looks bad. Like, really bad. And it's Ricky, who's played by Rowan Campbell, Corey Cunningham from Halloween Ends.
Those fucking bangs.
It's hilarious that him and his mom have the same haircut in this movie.
Like,
I
literally,
couldn't stop
his
laughing.
bangs are like I can't even do it because I don't have that kind of bangs, but you can barely see his eyes.
He looks like he's a member of the Ramones.
It drove me crazy. Like, please just, swoosh him out of your face.
He literally has that 70s punk look. That's what I thought when I first saw him. I was like, he looks like a member of the Ramones.
Yeah.
Like, he has that, that's the exact... And his mom has the exact same haircut, and I couldn't stop laughing about that. Like, him and his mom have the exact same haircut. But he dies from a swarm of wasps, stinging him. And this is the only kill in this movie that I thought looked really bad.
Yeah, it was the CGI of the wasps, or was it wasps?
I thought it was
bees?
wasps because they could keep stinging. Bees only sting once.
Oh, okay. But anyways, they go into his mouth, and it just
again the thought
suck.
is awesome.
Yeah.
I even put down in my notes when we were doing it holy shit, this kill is what nightmares are made of, because I'm allergic to bees. And so, like, I'd be like that kid from My Girl.
Where's his glasses? He can't see without his glasses.
But it just doesn't look good. And I like Roland Campbell's, his character in this is so like goofy and doofy that like you can't help but fall in love with him.
This is another one where like his dad left him, and
he was a cop.
He was a cop, left him. Mom very bitter, talks shit about his dad. Again,
there's a lot of that.
A lot of like deadbeat dads, and then moms that talk about the dads in front of the children. A lot of psychological stuff that happens that it brings it out in them as adults. Yep. And he wants the monkey
because it reminds him of his dad for some reason.
His dad. Yeah.
So you're almost like, did his dad, which we never get answered, like did his dad have something to do with the monkey as well? The question's never answered.
Yeah.
But he says that the monkey reminds him of his dad. And it's so funny because the beginning of the movie doesn't take place, but they end up moving to Maine, which, as we know, Stephen King world.
Yeah.
Another nod to the king himself. There's one more kill, really, that we got to talk about, and it's a kill that's foreshadowed at the beginning of the movie.
I talked about how Hal he would hold the bowling ball over top of his head and just wanted to drop it on his brother when they were younger. Well, they finally see eye to eye in the ending. He's like, come with us, Bill. Let's leave. Come with us. Bill
we'll be together.
Tortured, been by himself his whole adult life. They were estranged for at least 5 years. Well, they bicker about how long it had been since they had talked.
But you think that this is going to be Bill's redemption.
Yeah.
Because you genuinely feel like he's sorry.
Hal's like, that was my mom too. And he was like,
I never even you didn't mean to kill our mom.
Yeah.
That's not what your intention was. And you feel like he's going to get this sort of redemption.
Well, maybe they could actually finally like be brothers as an adult, and like they could actually like mend some of the things.
Right. But unfortunately, Bill lived in a fortress that was just booby-trapped all to hell.
Which he did himself because he pretty much lost it.
Well, he's scared of the monkey. He's scared of people coming in. Like, he's scared that he's going to die. But once he gets possession of it, he feels a little safer. Well, we're going to talk more about this at the end, when we talk about the ending of the film. But he goes against the monkey, essentially, and forces him to beat the drum, trying to kill Hal. Well, when he does, he essentially, you see planes crashing, buildings lighting on fire.
The town that they grew up in is pretty much like nothing at this point.
It's wiped out.
Yeah, like he
and
killed
then the bowling
just
ball
about everybody.
Falls. The booby-trapped bowling ball falls and crushes his head.
And it says Lois on the
Lois on the.
Yeah,
it's the same
and it's
ball.
Just like that the foreshadowing there is just it was perfect.
Right. Now, the monkey itself, the animatronic, I loved.
It's creepy. I love a lot of the shots that they do with him. They close up on his eyes, like different shots. Like they make him come alive essentially by like the camera work.
Right. And a lot of this movie we were talking about like the familial drama that comes with this movie. Every parent in this movie is dog shit in some way.
Yeah.
And the main storyline of this movie is Hal has a son named Petey. He's a teenager and he sees him once a year.
Yeah.
One weekend a year because he's so scared of the monkey and what he could do. So he's pushing him away.
So essentially he's doing to his kid what his dad did to them,
And he named him Petey after his dad.
Right.
But on this weekend, when he goes to pick him up, that's when we meet Elijah Wood's character. We find out that Elijah Wood's going to be adopting him. Going to be adopting Petey.
Yeah, which Petey doesn't. Like, you can tell he wants a relationship with his dad so badly, and
he doesn't understand why he can't have that relationship with his dad.
Yeah, and he just keeps, pushing him away. Like, I'm just going to he didn't want to take him to find the monkey. He just wanted to take him back to his mom where he would be safe. But it's like, that's not what he wants. Like, you're his dad. Like, he knows nothing about you. He didn't even know that he had a twin brother. He knew
Well, he
nothing.
asked him. He asked him, do you have any family? And he's like, well, your grandma died. I didn't know my dad, and I don't have any siblings.
Yeah, and then he finds out, later that he had a twin brother. And
he's like, and he's a twin?
Yeah, and he just that made him really upset
He's like, you know what? Fine. You don't want me? Fine. And Hal does. Like, it's a catch-22. Like, I want you. I love, and he even tells him like you were never an accident.
Yeah.
There's nothing about you that I don't love, and like I said, I get it. You have that catch-22 of I want you in my life. I want you to be my son, but if you are, you're the chances of dying are high. And we even see young Hal and Bill throwing the monkey into the well. They're like, you know what, this is too much. Let's get rid of it. They box it up, they throw it in the well, and they think it's gone for good. But Hal's always in the back of his mind, like, it's going to come back.
Yeah.
It's going to come back.
Which it does, because Bill wants Bill.
And if it didn't, we wouldn't have a movie.
Yeah,
The movie would have been over in the middle of the second
but
half.
we find out that Bill's the one that goes and actually
He gets Corey Cunningham. He gets what's his name? Ricky. He gets Ricky to find it for him.
Yeah.
And then one of the other deaths we didn't talk about, I want to talk about real quick before we move on, is the swimming pool.
Oh yeah, very Final Destination.
A lot of this movie's very Final Destination with its kills.
Yeah, because you see him coming before they actually happen.
He tries to tell her to stop it. It's just so ridiculous because she goes to dive in the pool and the air conditioner falls, the electricity goes through the hose into the pool, and she hits the pool. She doesn't get electrocuted. She just explodes on impact.
Yeah.
And it looks awesome. It's very CG, but it's so over the top that it looks great.
And this is another one where stuff like that kind of works because the movie
so
itself
over the
is
top.
so over the top.
Yeah.
If it was a more serious movie, I think that it probably it would be a negative, but because it's not.
So I think the deeper meaning, like we were about to say, is the familial relationship and how trying to every single person in this movie is trying to mend a familial relationship in some way.
Yeah, you have the dads that you have these deadbeat dads, and then you have
I don't even know if they're deadbeats. Petey, Hal and Bill's dad, he's portrayed as a deadbeat to his kids by the mom, which she does a lot.
She is always talking about how
exactly
he was never there. Even when he was alive, he was a pilot, so he was always gone, and to replace it, he would bring back stuff. And she didn't want that junk. She wanted him, essentially. So she was bitter.
He had to get money to raise a family, though, and that was his job.
So she was bitter over it. So
so I wouldn't say he's a deadbeat because he's trying to take care of his kids, and he did what Hal does in the future. He runs away rather than confronting the problem.
Right, which
but the problem
I feel
is a mechanical monkey that kills people.
Makes him, I don't know.
Anyways, saved his kid's life.
Then you have but he didn't get rid of the monkey, and then the kids, they found it. So really, he did nothing.
I know, but in his mind, he thought he was doing right.
And then you have these bitter mothers that talk a lot of crap about the dads in front of the children, which also causes damage.
Should never do.
That's something that is damaging to a child, whether they feel the same way or not. A kid is always going to figure out what type of person
it's their dad at the end of the day, or their mom, even in flip situations.
But when you're an adult, you kind of know what kind of person raised you. You know who they are, and you can make your own, the feelings towards them. You don't need to hear it and get it pounded into you and be like, oh, well, I don't let my dad to make my mom happy. Stuff like that. That is traumatic for children.
One of the saddest moments in the movie is when he's having the dream about the mom. And she's like, I'm sorry, I gotta go now. And then she dies ugh.
That is very sad.
That's a very sad moment. Then you also have the one where she's when he sees her dreaming and she does that blood all over her face and her mouth elongated. That was another part where you're like, that was a very scary part as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you want to talk about the ending?
So in the ending, we have this. Everything is just chaos at
this is our interpretation, by the way, of the ending.
Yeah, everything's chaos. Like you said, Bill, he made the monkey go crazy, killing everyone. We had airplanes, and everything just looks chaotic and the
desolate.
World type shit. And we have you have this ghost horseman.
The way I interpreted this is the fourth horseman of the apocalypse is the pale horseman.
And he's just trotting by Hal and Petey as they're trying to get out of this town.
And he nods at Hal. So I interpreted that this is, the monkey this is the beginning of the apocalypse, because you have the fourth horseman of the apocalypse coming in, who's the pale horseman. The world's about to end.
Yeah.
We're at the start of the rapture. And so, Hal and Petey are like, what are we going to do now? And Hal's like, let's go dancing, which is something that Lois loved to do.
When things got bad, after the babysitter passed away and they went to their funeral, what Mom did was took them back home and they were dancing. That was her stress reliever. And you would see the boys dancing with her and laughing and stuff. And that's a really great, visual, like to see a mom, like she cares about her kids.
I don't think the boys are going to have their dance. In my opinion, this is the end of the world. When I saw, because like I said, after the fourth horseman, it's the end.
Yeah.
You know, when you see that, and that's what, again, I don't know if this is fact, but when I saw an all-white guy riding a white horse, it doesn't even look white, it looks pale.
It looks gray, yeah.
So you have that grayish white, so the first thing that popped in my mind was...
his eyes are black and...
the pale horseman,
yeah.
You know, and the monkey was just like, you ain't going to tell me what I'm going to do. You know, because when Bill, he's like, kill him, kill Hal, and he's literally making the monkey hit the drum, and then like, boom, like it's the end of the world. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a very logical way for this movie to end, because you don't have a real way to end this movie. Every time you try to get rid of the monkey, whether it's, you know, young Hal cuts it to pieces.
Yeah.
And it reforms. They throw it down the well. It's found. There's no way to get rid of the monkey. I would like to see Adam Scott in a prequel, you know, seeing what his life was, because you could go on after this. You know, how he obviously died. Everybody dies. You know, my mom died. You know,
mm-hmm.
And
I mean, essentially, yeah, everybody is going.
And since he's not there, I'm assuming that he died. And I think that it would be cool to see that story take place. Like I said, I really genuinely feel like this movie is the end of the world. And I think that's a brilliant way to end this movie. And, you know, Hal and Petey, they finally become a father and son.
Yeah.
And they were going to take Bill. You know, like, let's just go, Bill.
I think they could have, finally had, like, the brother relationship that
Mm-hmm.
Hal longed for his whole life, but Bill was such an asshole.
And that's it. It was always one-sided. Like, Hal didn't, like, hate his brother. Like, he wanted...
did hate him, but it was just because of what he put him through.
Exactly. I'm saying, like, he wanted to have a familial relationship.
Yeah.
He wanted to be brothers. So that's, you know... So when it comes to the ending, that's what I thought, is that we had the end of the world.
My opinion was more like it's the end of all of this. Like, this is all ended. Like, this is your town. This is where you grew up in, and this is gone now. But now you guys can go on, and you can have a, like...
So the Pale Horseman was kind of saying, like, the curse is broken.
Yeah, like, this is done. The curse is broken, and now it could be a father to your son, something that you never had. Like, that's what I portrayed it as, which... you know, could be wrong, but that's my portrayal of how it ended.
Like I said, we don't ever talk about these beforehand. Yeah, she wants a happier ending.
You're gonna have the world
the
ending,
world's done.
And I'm like, they're gonna go off into the sunset, and they're gonna be dad and son, and they're gonna dance, and they're gonna, you know, he's gonna tell him about everything in his life and be the dad that Petey needs.
Well, let us know in the comments, guys. What do you think of the ending of The Monkey, and what do you think happened to it? What was your favorite kill in the movie, and would you like to see a prequel set with Adam Scott? We would love to know your guys' thoughts.
Anything with Adam Scott, I would be down.
Exactly. If you haven't already, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It does help build the channel more than you know. And follow Sledgehammer Horror on social media. Our links are in the description as well. But until next time, keep talking horror.
Stay who you are.
And we'll see you guys soon.
Bye, guys.